All right, we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the B side for April in May because who really cares what day, month? Nothing really matters anymore. We're all living in the Netherverse. But that doesn't mean we can't listen to music and talk about music and appreciate music, especially on vinyl, which is what this channel is all about. So I want to say hello to everyone who is chilling in the chat. So far, I see my boy Nick. Um, always here, ready to go. Appreciate that. Um, but yeah, we'll get started with a couple of the albums I heard this month and some of the ones I meant to listen to but didn't get around to. Um, yeah, that sounds pretty fun. For some reason, something seems very up with the viewer numbers. I don't know if it's frozen, but maybe okay. I think it's getting started now. Here we go. It was just a late floodgate opening. Uh, what's going on? Vinyl Hound, my man. Zodicus, Matthew Sanchez, Travis is here, Luke's here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. This is going to be a lot more Q&A than usual because I don't have a ton to talk about. I want to show you guys two awesome releases. Maybe talk about a couple bits of news, and then we'll just chat for a little while until the sun goes down because I'm watching it go down right now. It's providing a little bit of light for me, and that's going to go away, and I'm going to be darkened by nature. But let's get started. We have a decent amount of people in here now. It'll hopefully grow as the live stream goes on. I know this is kind of a weird time. I don't normally do them this late. But hey, Brian's here. What's up, Brian? What's up, Philip? All right, so let's talk about the albums I heard this month. There weren't that many. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time this month to listen to albums because I was absolutely locked into playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I put a solid 40 hours into that, and then I also just started Persona 5, which is just an unbelievably good game too. Like back-to-back incredible gaming experiences. But yeah, so let's talk about the albums I did here. And obviously the big one that came out last month, was Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters. It got a 10 out of 10 on Pitchfork. The hype train is high when Fiona releases her first album in many years. And I really enjoyed the album. It was a very impressive listen. I mean, she has a knack for melody. I mean, her songwriting has always been top notch and storytelling in the best way. I do think that this album, compared to some of her previous albums, seems a lot angrier, a lot heavier, a lot more experimental. And because of those factors, I don't know if I would be listening to it on rotation in the same way that I would, let's say, maybe Tidal or Idler Wheel or When the Pawn. Something like that. I feel like those have a little more like regular listening capabilities. And the new album, while it is a landmark album for sure, I definitely don't see myself going back to it often. That being said, I still fell prey and ordered two variants of it. I ordered the Indie Clear, Ivory Clear, and the purple Vinyl Me Please. Even though VMP did us dirty with the swaps this month. I know, Nick, you got your wish. I got screwed out of all the things I wanted to swap to, but that's neither here nor there. It is. I feel for the people who ordered the Fiona Apple black pressing from her site, and then after the fact, all the variants came out. That really irks me when labels do that. It's almost like they're punishing the people who support them right away. I talk about this in a video that I actually have recorded, and I'm going to be posting it soon-ish. I don't want to dig into record labels too hard at a time when they need to be supported, but it is worth talking about. So, Fetch the Bolt Cutters was great, but not something I'm going to be spinning, on a month-to-month basis. I listened to a little bit of X Alphabet Land. I think it's really awesome and surprising that X came out with another record. I love Wild Gift. I have that somewhere in the bins, in the stacks. I'm not a huge X fan, though. It's not like I was like, oh my god, one of my favorite bands just released a new album, and I listened to like 5 or 6 of the tracks, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it, and it's crazy to watch how the rollout happened when it came to all of the variants that they kept popping out. So the cover of Alphabet Land has different letters that are different colors, and I kid you not, I watched 500 copies of each colored letter. There must have been 4 or 5 different colors come up and sell out on their Bandcamp. I've never seen such blatant flipper culture in my life. There's no way that people aren't buying this in mass to try to sell on eBay, because it's a return of a legendary punk, art rock band. And it's crazy how many copies of this sold. Like, there literally are over 3,000 copies that exist of this album, and everybody's just going to, I don't even know. I feel like you're gonna see Discogs and eBay flooded once those start shipping. That being said, it wasn't a bad album. I'll listen to it again, but I wasn't completely blown away. What else are we going to talk about with albums? So a whole bunch came out I did not listen to, and feel free to leave a comment in the chat if you have heard these and have an opinion on them. But Thundercats, It Is What It Is. I really like all of his stuff for the most part. Gray Days, Amends came out, which I have not heard yet. But basically, if you're not familiar, Gray Days is Chester Bennington of Linkin Park's first band, or I guess his second band, but the band he was in prior to the massive fame with Linkin Park. And the music's quite good, a little grungy, the signature Chester vocals, and I know the bandmates have kind of like made some new music and used his old vocals from either scrap stuff or maybe repurposed stuff and created kind of a new Gray Days album, which is awesome. And I can't wait to hear it, because I'm a huge fan of Chester and his voice, and some of the earlier stuff the band did. I still have not heard the new Strokes album, which I know some of you are going to get really mad at. As I said that, I saw Nick in the chat say that. I'll get around to it. Ed O'Brien from Radiohead released his first solo record called Earth. I have it. I pre-ordered it because I love Radiohead and all the offshoots, but I did not listen yet. I saw there were great reviews, though, which is exciting. And West Side Gun, who is one of the big three rappers from Griselda Gang, him, Conway, and Benny the Butcher, he's released Pray for Paris with the Virgil Abloh art cover, and everyone's freaking out. There's a Tyler the Creator verse on it. I haven't sat down with it yet, but I know that's going to be a pain in the ass to get at the dope drop when it comes out. So we'll see if that happens. Moving right along to some news. Let's chat news real quick. TMR4, which was Blue Sky Black Death and Nacho Picasso Exalted, was supposed to ship last week, and it did not. A lot of us received notifications it was about to ship, and it did not. So I don't know what's going on. I'm sure it's, pandemic related. But I think we should be seeing shipping notifications in the next week or so. Thank you guys for your patience if you ordered that. I'm patiently waiting for the TMR5 test pressings, which I'm just hoping to get in the next couple weeks and approve so we can kind of move it forward. And then TMR6, I'm still waiting on the final artist approval. So I'm hoping in May that will go up. I don't know. I can't promise you guys, but I'll do another update in the Facebook group should there be some more news about that. Travis said, what is the Chester album? The Chester album was called Gray Days, D-A-Z-E. Here we go. Thanks, Ryan. Super chat from Ryan. First of the chat. We got new Ka album dropped today. That's actually awesome. I'm a huge fan of the Knight's Gambit. Was it the Night Gambit? Maybe I'm not as big of a fan as I just said, but that's a really great album, and my friend turned me on to that many years ago. I've not listened to anything Ka's put out since, though. It's kind of like a blind spot. So, have you heard it? Is it good? What King Gizzard variant would I love to have? I pretty much have all the variants I want. Maybe the tricolor paper mache dream balloon paper. Did I say that album right? The tricolor variant. I would like to have that maybe someday. Before we do just pure Q&A for, some solid amount of time, let me show you guys two records that I'm really stoked about that I got in. They're video game related, so I'm sorry if you're not into that. This isn't going to thrill you, but I think that everyone can appreciate at least this one, and hopefully this one on some level. This is Guardia, the X-Strike Sessions. So I'm a sucker for a good lenticular cover. Oh, look at that. It looks great on camera, too. So this is this shipped the Epoch, or Epoch, however you want to pronounce it, from Chrono Trigger. And basically this is a 10-inch compilation of cover songs of Chrono Trigger songs. Chrono Trigger is a top 5 video game of all time for me. It's super I don't know. It's just nostalgic, and the music is the main reason for that. And this is a really good interpretations of some of those songs. I really, really love that soundtrack, and the fact that it's not on vinyl, it's awesome to have these versions of it. Some really great people are on it, including R23X, and Equip, who are two of my favorite vaporwave artists, and then we have Slime Girls and Smooth McGroove, who does a lot of good acapella stuff. Really nice compilation. If you're a fan of Chrono Trigger, I would go to the Yeti site and go grab this, because the visual presentation. Oh, I didn't even show you guys the disc. What am I, a fool? What am I, a stupid fool? Check this out. Boom! Now that is a disc. That's cool. Very beautiful, very exciting, and the music, the pressing is great. Sounds super rich. It was mastered well. So if you are a fan of Chrono Trigger, go pick up the X Strike Sessions, Guardia the X Strike Sessions. Did I order the Teen Days 3 album set today? I didn't see it. Is it new albums or reissues? Because I have pretty much everything that he's done. Oh, Simplicity 04 AT. I didn't even see the super chat with the little, what is that guy doing? A little cool guy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I would say the Teen Days stuff has evolved, definitely sonically, not drastically, but the later albums sound very different than those first couple. But let me show you guys this bad boy right here. This I was so excited when this got announced. Oh, Mike Alexander and Ryan in the same chat. Whoa! This has been almost probably over a year since this has happened. This is if you guys recall, Mike Alexander and Ryan are they almost killed me last year by making me laugh a lot. But welcome back, Mike. It's nice to see you back in the live stream ranks. Check this out. And Frank's here. We got some heavy hitters. Frank and I were supposed to go digging, and then all this happened. So this is that bums me out. Check this out real quick, though. I just want to show you guys Respawned Records, who I talked about in the last B-side, has done it again with this GoldenEye orchestrated. Is that how you say the word? Orchestrated. GoldenEye Orchestrated. It is this. Everyone who grew up in the same era I did, give or take 5 years, absolutely played GoldenEye for N64, and these songs are so overwhelmingly nostalgic for me, and the orchestra does such a nice job with them. Like, honestly, first of all, look at this gold foil on the front. Everything about this is done with love. And you know what? Orchestrated albums can be very hit or miss when it comes to soundtracks, and this one is it's like a slam dunk. Love this. Not happy that Natalia has died, but that happened to me quite a few times. And of course, let's take a look at some more goodies that it came with. Comes with a Remote Mine sticker, which is awesome. Very cool touch. And then, as they do with all their releases, it's like a really nice kind of trading card. Which way does it go? There you go. Trading card situation. And I listened to it today because it came in today. I was waiting for it to come in. And just look at that beautiful, just like, what is it, like the golden gun. You got the tux colors. Very James Bond. Love this variant. And, of course, the labels have the health bar, which is just iconic. So this was a really impressive release and solidified the fact that I love Respawned Records. So make sure you check them out and follow them, because everything they're doing is 10 out of 10. So stick around, and I'll hopefully have some more to show you down the road if they keep putting out these releases that I love. So let's just do some Q&A now. I'm pretty much done talking about what I want to talk about. So let's answer some questions. Let me go back in the chat. Mike says, I miss my boy Ryan. Ryan says, aw. Well, you guys are both here and finally reunited. This feels like a win for me. The GoldenEye release looks dope. It sure does. Abe says, hello, sunshine. Hello, Abe. You're waiting on your GoldenEye Blood Splatter. Yes, the Blood Splatter one is also very cool. They're both awesome. Both variants were like chef's kiss. Did I get Kush and OJ by Wiz Khalifa? I would be remiss to not say that I did listen to that album a fair bit back in the day, back in probably, maybe was it late high school, early college. But I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think Wiz Khalifa had the staying power to necessarily stick around in my catalog. I did not. The pressing looked awesome though. I saw it had like the green disc and the orange disc, and they were kind of cloudy, really nice. How do I like living in New York City? Is it as cool as they make it look on High Fidelity? If by cool you mean very small spaces filled with many things, for if you're people like me. No, I love New York City. This is a place that I look forward to spending at least the next few years of my life. Eventually, I'd like to go somewhere that I can have more space, because these records need their own room. I literally, since I started collecting records many years ago, I haven't ever had a room that I can sleep in that's separate from my records, and I feel like that's like a normal thing most people have. So it's gonna be really trippy one day to have like a record room, and that's gonna be exciting. But right now, it's everything kind of shoved into one place. But New York City, you can't beat the food, you can't beat everything. You spent a large amount of money on a sealed copy of one of your Grails. What is the Grail, Nathan? That's the most important part of this, what you just said. What I think of Chunky Shrapnel, the King Gizzard live record. I didn't listen to it because I didn't like the track listing. I feel like it took songs I either wasn't that familiar with or didn't like that much. A lot from their later catalog. If they were doing a lot of songs from kind of like the earlier albums, or like even like the Nonagon Infinity era, I would have been more into it, but it didn't have that, unfortunately. Oh, I'm skipping to Frank. Frank's coming in hot with that yellow super chat. He says, I've seen more and more clear pressings in my purchases. Any reason, or an easy option to not be standard black vinyl? That's a good question, and honestly, I don't have a ton of insight. I wish I knew the answer to that. I think that clear records are like, I don't know if it's any easier or cheaper than any other color. Obviously, the records begin as clear and they add to it. I have a video coming out very soon that's about black versus colored vinyl, which maybe will shed some light. I think it's a pretty good video, but I don't know why you're seeing more of them per se. Well, I missed a ton of comments. Sorry, guys. Let me catch up. Thoughts on the new Thundercat? I just before you got here, Mike, I said that was one of the ones that I did not hear yet, but it's on my list of albums from last month that I missed. Thoughts on the new Purity Ring album? Nick, that's one I missed talking about as well. I loved the first Purity Ring album. I did not love the second one, so I didn't really push the new one. What is it called? Womb? I didn't push it up to the top of my list, but I would like to give it a shot if you say it's that good. Because, Nick, I feel like you and I have very similar taste in music. Do I have anything from Enjoy the Ride Records? I have a lot from Enjoy the Ride. I know Michelle and Ross fairly well, and they're great people, and I've purchased a lot of their records over the years. So some of the stuff is not for me. Some of it's a little too nostalgic for a niche that I'm not nostalgic for, but the stuff that they do well, they really do well. And I wish that they would focus more on doing the Something Corporates of the world and not so much the Ace Venturas of the world, but they do what they love and they do it well, so you can't really knock them. Did I watch the new Run the Jewels video, or am I holding off till the album drops? I haven't heard any of the new Run the Jewels songs. I'm trying to hold off till the album drops, but it's getting harder and harder, honestly, as I just wait week by week and don't hear an album release date. You found a SL QD33 in a curbside sale. Keep it or throw it. It has everything, works, but was looking for a more modern table. That's a pretty decent table from what I know. I think that if everything works and you're sure, I would maybe change out the needle, and just to be sure you don't know how much wear has been on that needle prior to you getting it. But I don't know. It's a great table to start with, I think. Come to Australia. Nothing here but space. Nothing here but space and bugs that want to kill you in your sleep. So, Australia, I have to muster up the courage to visit, let alone live in. Do I have all my stuff on Discogs? Regrettably, no. I feel like I just haven't ever made the time. I guess quarantine is the best time to probably do that, but it just seems like such a daunting project. I'd rather listen to my records and then just sit and catalog them. I guess you can do both at the same time. Mike, if I get them all up on Discogs, you will be the first to know. Dream of having a record room and man cave. Me too. Every day I dream about it. Have I ever listened to Brockhampton? Yes, I absolutely have listened to Brockhampton, but I have not become like a stan. I haven't like loved Brockhampton. I've liked Brockhampton. We got a super chat, Mike Alexander. Did you mean to put that decimal there, Mike? I'm saving for my move, so don't get excited. I am excited because you're moving closer to me. But what album do I have the most variants of? Honestly, I think it might be Richard Houghton's Music for Drifters. I think I have 4 or 5 variants of that. Yeah, it's either that or Hissing Fauna or You the Destroyer. It's got to be one of those two. If I'm forgetting one that you guys think are obvious, let me know. Did I order the Bird and the Bee cover for Van Halen? Yes, I did order it, but I don't think it ever came in. I think I got it refunded because they disappeared for it was 5 months and I hadn't heard from them, so I filed a claim, which is a bummer. I totally forgot about that. I do not know Ashwalker. The Rina Sawayama debut, I haven't heard that either. Good evening. Good evening. At one time did I say that clear vinyl has better sound to it? It's funny because I've always read that, and a lot of my clear records sound fantastic. But I've also recently read that clear vinyl sounds worse. I don't think that's true. In my video I'm putting out in the next week or two, I'm pretty adamant about the fact that it's not about the color of the record as much as it is how it's pressed. All the elements that go into a record being made, from the mastering to the physical pressing itself, that matters 99.9% more than the actual color. You finally got into Fleet Foxes, Ryan. Welcome to the club. I have a favorite album. Yes, Helplessness Blues, one of the hardest albums to say, is my favorite of theirs. Their self-title's great as well. I could not get into Crack Up as much. Oh, welcome. I love when people from Brazil are here. What's going on, Gustavo? What are my thoughts on DJ Screw? I don't know DJ Screw very well. I'm familiar with some of his stuff, but that's kind of a corner of hip-hop that I haven't really traversed. Any instances where I heard an album for the first time, immediately needed it on vinyl, only to find out it's out of print or way too pricey? All the time! That is what plagues us as record fanatics who like to discover new music, is that you oftentimes hear about an album or go down a rabbit hole and discover an album that's an offshoot or a side project of an album you love, and you look into that artist and you're like, wow, that person has 3 albums, and you go and listen to one of them, you're like, oh my god, I love this, and then you go on Discogs and it's $400 and no one has it for sale. That happens so frequently, and that's the tough part, is adding those to your list and waiting for it to show up at a good price or get a repress, whichever comes first. You watched my rants on Urban Outfitters. That was crazy. Yes, that was crazy. I have not ordered a record from Urban Outfitters since. Not that I could, but I thought it was worth mentioning. You had to bug them about the Bird and the Bee order. See, I don't trust them. Someone said that definitely not from vinyl. I've always got kind of shady vibes from them, not gonna lie. I don't want to trash talk them, but I've always felt like they had this site up at one point. I don't even know if I can get into this right now in the live stream, but they had this site up for like a week and then they took it down. It was supposed to be like a subscription that you could buy like all of the top 100 albums ever, like, as a subscription service, and some of those albums like were never on vinyl, like Frank Ocean stuff, like Channel Orange, and I'm just like, what is this site even talking about? It was like $5,000. It was like out of control. I thought it was a joke, but it was nowhere near April 1st. Just something a little up about, something a little grubbing about it. What do I think of Daughters? I don't listen to Daughters, unfortunately. I know people love them. Am I talking about Clarity Vinyl Classic Records on my video? Clarity Vinyl. I don't think so. Mike, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, Wolfsbane Films, thank you for the super chat, my friend. What have been my go-to quarantine records to spin? I feel like I haven't spun anything more than once during quarantine, so I don't really have like a one I keep going back to. But what have I been listening to lately? I feel like I've been doing a lot of Phoebe Bridgers' first album and getting ready for her next album. A lot of The National, going through their discography pretty much. Um, yeah, a little bit of Kanye. I did some 808s one day. That was nice. I've actually, it's funny. I've been listening to a lot of the songs or a lot of the albums on my top 100 list I did over the course of those 20 videos. And it's been nice to kind of like fall back in love with some of those albums that already meant a lot to me. Someone actually made a Spotify playlist that's about 85-90% accurate. Some of the albums, they did the wrong version, but I've been kind of shuffling that like when I cook, and it's just like, I mean, it's my top 100 albums, so every song on the shuffle, I'm like, yeah, this rocks. Do I know why all the Lil Uzi Vert albums jumped up in value so much? It's because the hypebeast community in hip-hop is quite literally out of control. I'm going to do a video about that at some point, but it's becoming just utter nonsense. And it sucks that a lot of those albums, not Lil Uzi Vert, but a lot of those other albums I really like, and I hate paying those inflated prices, just knowing that if I don't now, I never will. Nick, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on, I'm never going to pronounce this right, Yves Tumor? Yves sounds right. Yves Tumor? I listened to his last record, and it was really experimental, and I couldn't really get into it. I get why people would like it, but I don't know if it's for me. Maybe I'll check out the new album, though. What are my thoughts on LCD Sound System? I love LCD Sound System, as everyone should. Do I prefer getting colored records if I have the chance, or getting the standard black? I prefer colored records almost every time if possible. Vinyl for me is more than just the music, it's the aesthetics and everything, and oftentimes in a singular pressing, if there's a black version and a colored version, they're going to sound just about the same. It's going to be the same, plates, it's going to be the same mastering, and I don't buy into the colored records sound worse hype, so it's usually the colored for me. I have not listened to Oland yet, Corey. I'm sorry. I will. I promise one day. Matt, when is the Aussie video coming? I'll answer that in a second, because we got a super chat from Nathan Flagg. Thank you so much. I know this is tough times for people, so I really do appreciate the support. Just being here or throwing a super chat my way is awesome. Do I listen to any classical or orchestral? If so, what are my favorites? My favorite orchestral album, I think, might be GoldenEye Orchestrated. I don't really listen to classical very much. I appreciate it when it's on, but I don't own any classical records. I feel like orchestral stuff, I have just arrangements of different soundtracks, but not really like classic, like big band or orchestral or classical stuff. But I feel like I should. I love orchestral aspects of music, but I don't love pure classical in terms of just being like, let me throw on this Chopin. Like, I feel like I just would never be in that mood. Ryan said, when is the Aussie video coming? The Aussie video is coming soon. I had an issue with 2 of the discs, and they were unplayable from the box set, which, truth be told, is probably a pretty good ratio. I am going to wait for those discs. They just shipped 2 days ago, the replacements. I'm going to wait till they come in, make sure it's pristine, and then I'm going to do a really good Aussie video. I'm actually very excited for it. I'm going to not just do a box set review, I'm going to do a discography ranking. So I think that's really different than the content I usually put out. I don't really talk about metal, any form of it, very often. So I think people might be interested in hearing my thoughts and ranking. I think you guys might be surprised by some of it. Have I heard of Oh Brother? I have heard of Oh Brother. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing it with the comments right now. Do I ever get tired of collecting? You feel like it takes up too much time, you'll never be satisfied. Flippers and indie labels deliberately limiting records just to be cool is pretty lame. I don't think I'll ever get tired of collecting records. I feel like that's why I made the YouTube channel. I just feel like I love talking records. I love buying records. I love listening to records. I don't know, everything about it It's a piece of who I am. I do agree that it does take up a lot of time, especially when I make videos in conjunction to being just a collector. But I think the lifelong pursuit of having the perfect record collection over decades and decades is something admirable, and it's kind of a fun thing to carve away at, month by month, year by year. So I don't know. I think I'll be fine. I should do a video of my 5 or 10 disappointing albums in my collection. That's a pretty good video idea, actually. You noticed in my Facebook group, I asked for constructive criticism. Did any of the feedback surprise me, and did some people take it too far? No, I appreciate in the Facebook group when everybody is able to like be honest with me, whether I'm asking for suggestions or criticism about what I do. There's no way to grow as a creator unless you listen to the people that you're creating for, in addition to yourself. I don't think anyone went too far at all. I took all of it to heart. I actually have a list on my computer of things that I want to, work on in terms of my content. I really want to try to make my content a little more playful and less scripted. I feel like lately I've been writing a lot of things and riffing off of it, but writing a lot of kind of paragraphs. And I want to get back to just talking like I talk now, just without a lot, just maybe with bullet points just to refer to, because I feel like that's a little more accessible. I'm seeing a lot of other vinyl channels do that and achieve great success, even at much smaller sizes than mine. So maybe the overproduced and very mechanical delivery, even if the information is good, is not necessarily the route to go in. But we'll see. I appreciate anyone that takes the time to tell me things they like and things they don't like about the channel. Frank just got the new Denzel Curry collaboration. Nice. The one with Kenny? Yeah, I have it somewhere in my to listen to. It's like I have in the Linephono, the top shelf is full of to listen to. The bottom shelf is do I want to keep this? So it's like I have to kind of cycle back and forth. What's my favorite Shoegaze album? That's a really tough question. Possibly M83, Red Cities, Dead Cities, Lost Ghosts, whatever that album. I can never think of the name. I feel like there's 10 videos on this channel of me butchering the name of that album. But that's a great one. And of course, My Bloody Valentine, Loveless. There's a lot. I mean, Shoegaze is just great. I'm missing so many questions. Am I into any electronic artists like Aphex Twin and Burial? I love Aphex Twin. I haven't really spent a lot of time with Burial. I love a lot of electronic stuff, but I definitely veer more towards the down tempo than I do, I don't know, drum and bass or EDM. What do I think about Record Store Day being split between 3 separate days? That's a pretty intense question for me to answer on a live stream. I'm waiting for more information to come out about how it's going to be executed, what the lists are, before I make an official thought on it. Hi Kirby, welcome. What are my thoughts on the Shins? I like the first 2 albums. I haven't loved anything since then, but I don't really go back and listen to them. I feel like they have not aged as well as I thought they would. I feel actually that's a video I want to do. Albums or artists that have not aged as well as I thought they would, because there's a handful of them that I've thought about recently. Are there any albums that that their release date has been pushed back due to everything going out that I've been waiting to come out? I guess the Pedals for Armor Hayley Williams box set got pushed back a couple months, which is a bummer, but I can still enjoy all those tracks digitally, which is nice. What's one album people wouldn't expect me to own or enjoy? People always ask that. I think that's the same question as like a guilty pleasure. I don't really have a go-to answer for that, but I should probably prepare one moving forward. What album would I immediately buy if it was announced to be reissued? Reissued or pressed for the first time? I need you to clarify that. You're so confused about the Amoeba thing. Are they participating in Record Store Day or are they moving? Please explain. Well, they're moving in the fall, so I guess depending on when they open the new store, they may participate. I don't work for them, so I don't really know. Unfortunately, I wish I did. Hey, Norrell, how's it going? A little late, yeah. I'm probably only on for another 10 minutes or so, but hopefully you can get some good questions in before I leave to try to have a semblance of a quarantine weekend, I guess. Ooh, another Mike Alexander, right in the gut. Thank you, Mike. One more. Any albums where I hate the music but love the other aspects of the release too much to sell? That is a great question that I feel like I wish I had more of a prepared answer for that. Hate the music. Hate is such a strong word. I don't think I have any albums that I hate. I've definitely purchased albums based on gimmicks for sure. I don't know. There's a band called Rare Futures that I don't love, but they have a jacket that has like LED light ups on the like you press a button and it lights up all these LEDs on the jacket. If it wasn't for the jacket, I probably would not keep that album. What is my ultimate grail? Right now, it's either Frank Ocean Blonde or the Soundgarden Super Unknown 320 press from Germany 2004, which I'm starting to believe I'll never find. I usually do a Grail update. I've been doing pretty well at knocking out my 7 Grails of the year. This year, it has come to a grinding halt. I did not get one this month, unfortunately, that I've been looking for, but I still have over half the year to accomplish my goals. So you never know if someone gets desperate and puts up that Super Unknown that I never see. Honestly, at this point, if someone puts it up for sale and it's under like $500 in near mint condition, I'll just buy it at this point, because there's no way, those tapes were lost in the fire, so there's no way that's getting an analog repress. So that's the only version that's pure analog. And Super Unknown is just one of the best albums of all time. Have I ordered the Jesus is King vinyl? Yes, I have. It is not here yet. I got the cassette tape the other day, though. Did I grab the Avengers box set from Mondo? I did. I like those movies. I don't know if I would ever listen to the score, but it's just such a cool execution. And the price was not bad for what you get. So, yeah, I got it. I feel like I would regret it maybe down the road, and that's also if I ever wanted to trade it away, I probably could fairly easily. Do I own any Cheap Trick records? I don't actually, but I do like Cheap Trick. I should probably remedy that when I can crate dig again. Who do I think is the best lyricist currently in hip-hop? That is a damn tough question. I think Milo is an incredibly underrated lyricist. I mean, Kendrick is excellent lyricist. I mean, maybe he's a better rapper than he is lyricist. I don't know. I would say Milo might be my answer for that. You bought that Rare Futures album because of me? Well, here's the thing. It's a really cool release, and the music is not bad. But if it didn't have the LED, I don't know if I ever would have purchased it. It just, sometimes a gimmick will push it over the edge in terms of that pulling the trigger. Do I own any Green Day? I own their International Super Hits, the first greatest hits comp. I would not mind owning Dookie or... Yeah, it's probably the only album I would want to own front to back. FOD is probably my favorite song of theirs. Is Hot Topic still a thing in America? As far as I know, it is. I don't shop at Hot Topic very much. I'm not that demographic. Oh, Carlos, super chat. I'm losing it. Thank you, Carlos. I should listen to the new Yves Tumor album. It's fire. You think I'll love it? All right, fine. Multiple people who I trust their opinion love it. I will give it a listen. It's the second time someone's asked if I'm a fan of LCD Soundsystem. I'm a huge fan. Yeah, they're amazing. I think I put Sound of Silver in my top 100 albums. If you guys are new to the channel, first of all, please make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss my videos. I put out videos every week. But secondarily, I just did 20 videos counting down my top 100 albums of all time. There's a playlist for them. Make sure you check them out. You're going to discover a lot of heat, including Sound of Silver by LCD Soundsystem. Any OSTs I'm embarrassed to admit I have? No, not embarrassed. That again, I don't really have any guilty pleasure records. I feel like I'm pretty proud of all the music I own and love. Thoughts on the new Tom Misch record? I know he did it in collaboration with someone. I don't remember the person's name. I haven't heard it. I'm not a big Tom Misch fan. I have friends who love him, but not for me. Alright, guys, let's do another 5 minutes. This is an extra long B-side. Let's get a couple good questions in. And then we'll all go about our merry way. Wolfsbane, that's a great point. Alan Silvestri is definitely one of the best composers, and the Endgame score was probably my favorite score. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy score as well, but the Endgame score was pretty epic. So yeah, I think that's a good argument. Do I have any future plans on owning a record store? Well, after seeing what a surprise pandemic does to all the record stores now, it's not necessarily the greatest idea. I feel like one day if I ever owned a business, I would love for a aspect of it to be a record store. I don't know if that would be the main focus of it, just because it is quite risky, and it's very easy to sell online if you wanted to do that. Obviously, it's more fun to have a record store, but the overhead and the pressure of keeping the lights on and all that jazz seems a little tough. But I think it would be awesome. Imagine a record store called Too Many Records with my logo above it, and I was there slinging, hawking records. That'd be fun, right? Did I not get VAR yet? I did get VAR. It is also in my top shelf of the Linephono, just waiting to be listened to. I'm glad you love it, though. Kids Bop. I own Kids Bop as a joke, so I guess that's the only guilty pleasure, but it's not a pleasure. I assume by those questions that pleasure means that I enjoy it and I'm afraid that people will judge me for it. I expect people to judge me for the Kids Bop. That was totally a joke. Did I pick up the Presidents of the USA repress? Yeah, it's also right here. I got the signed one, which was cool. Oh, Justin's here from Respawn Records. You guys, I just showed it off, but let's do it again. GoldenEye Orchestrated. I think if you guys just came in, if you're late, this is literally an orchestral version of the GoldenEye soundtrack for N64. And dude, Justin, you guys did such a phenomenal job. I listened to it maybe 2 hours before this live stream. It sounds so good. Let's just look one more time at this beautiful variant. I love the attention to detail on the center labels. It's just everything that this label does, guys. If you like video game music, everything they do is just done with such amazing just care, and I appreciate that. Let's see. Matt Kessler's Vinyl Memorabilia Emporium. Not the best name, not the worst name. How would I rank Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, and Leonard Cohen? Why you gotta do that to me? Why you gotta hurt me like that? I don't think I can do that. If I really... No, that's not fair, because I love all three of those artists, and I feel like I don't want to, say anything that's going to make people think that I'm not supporting one of those artists. I don't know. Ask me again when I have more time to listen to it. I can't do a snap judgment. Any TMR release updates? Yes, I updated earlier in the live stream. I won't waste everyone's time again, but just jump back after this goes live, and early on I talk about some updates with that. All right, Mike, thank you so much for coming back in, man. I appreciate it. It was nice to talk to you. If I had a record store, people would be lining up to flip through my hip-hop section. That is true, except I would, it wouldn't be the same records I have in my collection, obviously, and some of those you cannot get extras for selling at a store, but you never know. Any more progress in getting my Grails? No, I just talked about how I failed this month at adding to the list of 7. The rest still elude me, but I'm crossing my fingers that perhaps in May luck will shine on me. See you, Wolfsbane. Favorite Animal Collective record? It's probably Merriweather. It's definitely Merriweather, because Merriweather was on my top 10 or top 100 list, but I really love Feels as well. They're just awesome. I do kind of have a record store. It's open just once a year. That's actually a pretty nice sentiment to end this live stream on. Yes, TMR Fest lives in 2021. I can't wait to do TMR Fest 2 for you guys when the world returns to normal. But until then, we got a lot of good live streams and a lot of great videos to come out. So thank you guys for watching. As always, this is super fun. I hope you guys learned something or had some fun tonight. I sure did. And yeah, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you're following the Facebook group. We talk every day about vinyl. It's pretty fantastic. And I hope you guys stay safe in this time and stay sane. And tonight, do me a favor, spin a record you think I would like. Take it easy, guys.